Hello Army! Welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving deep into something that's been driving the fandom absolutely crazy. Jimin's Vogue Korea January 2026 cover has everyone talking, and guys, there's so much more to those poses than meets the eye. If you're ready to uncover the hidden meanings and artistic genius behind Jimin's photoshoot, stay tuned because this is going to blow your mind. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's get started. When Jimin graced the cover of Vogue Korea for their January 2026 issue, titled The Sound of Now, the internet exploded with reactions from ARMY worldwide. The images were stunning, featuring our Jimin in elegant Dior pieces with a carefully curated blue color palette that immediately caught everyone's attention. But as with everything Jimin does, these weren't just beautiful photographs. They were carefully constructed visual narratives packed with symbolism, artistic references, and deeper meanings that reveal so much about who Jimin is as an artist in person. Let me break down what makes these poses so significant and why the entire fashion and art world is buzzing about this editorial. First, let's talk about the overall concept. Vogue Korea described Jimin with the phrase brilliant delicacy and cozy beauty, which perfectly encapsulates the duality he presents in these images. This isn't accidental. Throughout his career, Jimin has masterfully balanced contrasts, the powerful dancer with the gentle soul, the fierce performer with the soft-spoken individual, the masculine and the delicate. The Vogue photoshoot brings all of these contradictions together in a visual format that's both stunning and thought-provoking. The dominant use of blue throughout the shoot is perhaps the most immediately noticeable element, and it's loaded with meaning. In color psychology, blue represents trust, wisdom, confidence, and tranquility. But in Korean culture, blue has additional significance. It's associated with immortality and infinity, connecting to traditional Korean art and philosophy. By draping Jimin in various shades of blue, from soft pastels to deep navy, the creative team is making a statement about his enduring impact on culture and his timeless quality as an artist. Blue is also the color of introspection and depth, suggesting that beneath the surface beauty lies profound artistic and personal complexity. One of the most talked about images features Jimin holding a blue lollipop. On the surface, this seems playful and whimsical, even childlike. But dig deeper and you'll find layers of meaning. The lollipop can be interpreted as a symbol of nostalgia and innocence, perhaps referencing Jimin's journey from a young trainee to a global superstar. It's a reminder that despite all the fame and success, there's still that playful, genuine person inside. The act of holding something sweet can also be seen as Jimin offering something delightful to his fans, a small gift of joy in a single image. Some art critics have even noted that the positioning of the lollipop references classical portraiture where subjects held symbolic objects to indicate their character or status. The styling choices in the Vogue shoot are deliberate and rich with subtext. Jimin wears Dior throughout, a brand he represents as a global ambassador. But the way the clothes are styled on him transcends typical fashion photography. The pieces are elegant but not stiff, luxurious but approachable. This mirrors Jimin's own personal brand, someone who has reached the pinnacle of success but remains grounded and accessible to fans. The tailoring emphasizes his dancer's physique while also allowing for fluidity and movement in the poses, reminding viewers that Jimin is first and foremost a performer whose body is his instrument. Looking at Jimin's facial expressions across the various shots reveals another layer of intentionality. In some images, his gaze is direct and confident, meeting the camera and by extension the viewer with unwavering certainty. This is Jimin the performer, the artist who commands stages around the world. In other shots, his expression is softer, more vulnerable, with eyes that seem to look beyond the camera into some distant contemplation. This vulnerable Jimin is equally important, showing that true strength includes the courage to be soft and open. The alternation between these two modes creates a visual conversation about identity and the many facets of self that we all contain. The poses themselves deserve close analysis. Jimin's body language throughout the shoot demonstrates an acute awareness of space and form that comes from years of dance training. Every line his body creates is intentional and aesthetically considered. When he's seated, there's an elegant casualness to his posture that suggests both relaxation and readiness. When standing, his stance has the poise of a dancer but without the rigidity that sometimes comes with formal posing. This natural grace is part of what makes the images so captivating. They don't look overly posed or artificial despite being highly constructed photographs. Jimin inhabits the space and clothes with such ease that it feels effortless, which is actually the result of tremendous skill and experience. The background and setting choices also contribute to the overall meaning. The minimalist aesthetic with clean lines and uncluttered spaces puts the complete focus on Jimin himself. This is a powerful statement in an era of visual overload and maximalist design. By stripping away distractions, Vogue Korea is essentially saying that Jimin himself is enough. He doesn't need elaborate sets or props to create compelling imagery. His presence, expression, and the subtle nuances of his poses carry the entire visual weight of the editorial. This minimalism also connects to Korean aesthetic principles like yohaku no bai, the beauty of empty space, which values what isn't shown as much as what is. What's particularly fascinating is how Jimin uses his hands throughout the photoshoot. In dance, hand gestures are crucial for expression and storytelling, and Jimin brings this consciousness to the static images. Sometimes his hands are relaxed and open, suggesting receptivity and honesty. Other times they're positioned more deliberately, framing his face or creating interesting angles that add visual complexity to the composition. For those familiar with contemporary art photography, some of these hand positions reference famous portraits and artworks, showing that Jimin and the creative team are well versed in art history and using those references to add depth to these images. The title, The Sound of Now, is itself rich with meaning when applied to Jimin. Sound is temporal, existing only in the present moment before fading away. By calling Jimin the sound of now, Vogue Korea is positioning him as someone who captures the current zeitgeist, who represents what's happening in culture right this moment. But there's also a beautiful paradox here because these photographs freeze time, turning the ephemeral now into a permanent image. This tension between the temporary and the eternal runs through the entire shoot, much like Jimin's career exists in this space between fleeting live performances and permanent recorded works. From a fashion perspective, this Vogue cover represents a significant moment in how Asian male artists are portrayed in high fashion. Historically, fashion editorials featuring male K-pop idols sometimes leaned heavily on either hyper-masculine imagery or were overly styled in ways that felt inauthentic. Jimin's Vogue Korea shoot breaks this mold by presenting him in a way that's sophisticated, artistic, and true to his personal aesthetic. He's not trying to be something he's not. Instead, the shoot amplifies and celebrates exactly who Jimin is, a multifaceted artist who contains contradictions and complexities that make him endlessly interesting. The timing of this cover, released in January 2026 just months before BTS's comeback with the Ararang album, also adds significance. This is Jimin reintroducing himself to the world after military service and solo projects, showing his evolution as an artist and individual. The photoshoot serves as a visual statement about where he is now, more confident, more self-assured, more comfortable in his own skin while still maintaining the qualities that fans have always loved about him. It's a bridge between past and future, honoring where he's come from while boldly stepping into what's next. So ARMY, what initially appears to be a beautiful fashion photoshoot is actually a carefully constructed artistic statement about identity, duality, cultural heritage, and artistic evolution. Every element from the color choices to the poses to the styling works together to create a complex portrait of Jimin as both an individual and as an artistic force. This is why the fashion and art worlds take notice when Jimin does editorials like this. He brings depth, intelligence, and genuine artistry to every project. Whether you're an ARMY who loves every detail about Jimin or someone just discovering him through this Vogue cover, these images offer something to appreciate and contemplate. That's the mark of truly great visual art. What do you think about these hidden meanings? Did you notice any other symbolism I didn't mention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Borahi ARMY.